Clermont County has a new sheriff this morning. This week, Sheriff Steve Leahy closed the door on 34 years in law enforcement. And he told me how some of his darkest moments inspired a few of his proudest accomplishments.
When you're really dealing with people, I want to say the not great side, you really got to be able to see a lot of different things and dealing with them. And so that was my favorite time.
Sheriff Steve Leahy is looking back at more than 3 decades in law enforcement. He started on road patrol in 1991.
I like the freedom of being able to go from call to call. Anyone knows Clermont County is pretty, the variety is pretty much, you have the southern part of the county that's on the river. You have the hills, it's almost like you're in the mountains.
Leahy worked his way up every 5 years trying something new. Little did he know at the time, a major challenge at home would inspire him to spearhead changes in the sheriff's office and at the jail.
My ex-wife, she had developed an addiction problem, and she, I lived the struggles.
She developed the addiction after a back injury, seemingly right before his eyes.
That developed a sense of empathy in me. You have to keep your empathy in this line of work.
That empathy led then Chief Deputy Leahy to help with creating an opioid task force and convincing the former sheriff to equip all officers with Narcan. It made a difference at the height of the crisis.
We took huge cuts out of the number of OD deaths in the county, virtually cutting them in half by the time it was all said and done.
And Leahy worked with others to get mental health resources into the Clermont County Jail. It's had a remarkable effect.
I've helped lower our overall population in the jail by having and partnering with people from the prosecutor's office to judges to mental health professionals to substance abuse, and we're sending people where they need to get help at.
Instead of jail.
Instead of jail.
But the biggest transformation in the Clermont County Sheriff's Office would come about 2 years after Sheriff Leahy took over. It was 2019 when Deputy Bill Brewer was ambushed and killed in the line of duty.
It was really complicated because I had 2 deputies that had been shot, somebody who's still barricaded, actively shooting, and it just was controlled chaos.
While Sheriff Leahy needed to be on the scene, he also knew he was needed at the hospitals that were treating Lieutenant Nick DeRose and Deputy Brewer.
It was really a big test. It was a test for the office, it was a test for the community, and it was a test for me.
I read, I think it was at the funeral, you said, "I'm not okay." Yeah. How did you get through it?
I just reflected and knew that I had to, I just had to be somebody different,
Different how?
Just, I don't know, like a stronger leader. So I thought you might ask this question, but, just different. And just made me reevaluate,
He says it made him a better person. Brewer's death also showed him the strength of their community.
The procession was long, and we went all over the county, and it was lined up. Shoulder to shoulder. Every place, and that was good to see. And I knew that we had support.
Sheriff Leahy says he used that as fuel to improve conditions for his staff and his agency as a whole.
Every decision I tried to make here at this office always fell back on what my experiences were, and those were things that I knew were really priority for me.
From staffing increases to higher pay, new technology and training facilities that better equip officers to handle danger, from a drone unit to an upgraded automated gun range dedicated to the memory of Bill Brewer.
We do a 40-hour block of in-service training.
At the new training center, deputies learn updates to law and simulate shoot, don't shoot situations. The gym is open 24/7 with a mission that's greater than physical fitness.
It helps them with stress. A lot of them work out together, so they're that bonding and camaraderie where they're talking to each other. And
is there one thing you're most proud of?
Putting a good team together, just a good team, and because other things come and go, and technology changes and all these things, but a good team, and that's from across the board.
Sheriff Leahy wants Clermont County residents to know they're in good hands as he closes the door on a 34-year career.
I'm excited for not sleeping with a phone by my pillow. That's the most exciting thing. I can't wait to be like a normal person. I'm jumping on a plane. I'll be going to Mexico. Don't worry, if you're a burglar, I'll have somebody at my house.
The new sheriff is Chris Stratton, who took over yesterday. Leahy told me he spent his final days as sheriff visiting the National Police Memorial in Washington, D.C.